Okay,
Great.
great. All
Okay.
right, well, 20 minutes later.
Yeah, we'll get it in.
All
Did
right.
you receive your rapid intake URL, your address to your account? Should look something like this.
I don't think I have.
Okay. I'm going to guess it's fusionio.com. We'll try that out. Rapidintake.com. Yep, so it looks like that's probably your address. So if you want to, I'll email that to you or have David Blakely send that to you. So that's how you're going to log in. He should give you a username and password when he sends it to you.
Okay.
Okay. So when you first log in, you'll probably get a prompt saying there's been updates to the course, and that it'll tell you what the new features are and such. It'll give you a disclaimer, and you'll just click OK, and then it'll jump you into a screen that looks like this, but you probably won't see a lot of courses created yet. You'll just have a blank screen.
So, Andre, are my login credentials going to be the same as what I use for the Litmus?
It won't. They'll be different, but you can change your credentials to be the same username and password if you want.
Okay, so when you send me this link, you're going to send me the login credentials for it?
Yep.
To start with?
Make sure David Blakely will send that out to you.
Okay.
All right. So what I want to do first is just kind of walk you through a course, just so you can get a feel of the terminology that we're using and understand. So this is just a sample course that I created. We call this outside portion the graphic user interface, or style, and you get to choose what style you're going to use for your course. Some of them allow you to put your own logo up here in it, but typically all of them will include the name of the course, and then it'll include the page title for each page. There'll be a close button that you can choose to have on there or not. It'll have a menu, a table of contents, and each of them have different styles that they show up. Some have what's called persistent index, where it'll stay up on every single page like this. But this allows you to jump from page to page, and it'll put a check mark next to the page that the user has completed. Down here shows what page you're on and how many pages in the course. Then you get to create a glossary for your course. I'll show you where that's at. Then there's also a transcript, so each page you can put where the narration script, and you can also include links in there to other media that you have, or PDFs or graphics that you want to include, but maybe you don't want to put it in your content that you have there. But also,
all right. The transcript is I'm assuming it's done manually, right?
Yep.
I have to. Okay.
You'll have to copy it from your script that you've
somewhere.
created and then paste it in.
Yep.
The user has the ability to turn the audio on and off, so that's nice. So if they're in a classroom, maybe you want them to read the narration if they don't have headphones. These are the media controls so that the user can rewind the video if they want, start and stop it, and then the back and next button. That's how they look for this style here. So I'm just going to show you a few page types and help you to see which ones are mobile compatible and which ones are not. Most of these that I've got on here are very interactive, and so they're not going to be compatible for the mobile, but I want you to at least see what's available. These are created using template, where you have a form that you fill out and you just decide what my title is, what my question is going to be, and what my media is that I'm going to use. That way you don't have to go and program everything yourself. So this one's just kind of a, here's your scenario. Based on the scenario, is it professional or unprofessional? It gives them an answer, and it jumps to the next scenario. It just keeps track of their score for them. Just a variety of ways. This is what the video looks like for the Flash player, and then you can go full screen by clicking the button there. For the mobile player, Up here, you can choose what viewer you're going to use. So if I want to switch to the 10-inch tablet, then I can get a simulation of what the 10-inch tablet looks like. And this is your portrait orientation, and then I can switch it to the landscape orientation.
Okay, but so this is something that I have to choose at the beginning when I'm creating the content, or this is just giving me what it would look like on a 7-inch tablet or an iPhone or a 10-inch tablet?
Yep, both. So this is a viewer that lets you see what it looks like if you were a Flash user or if you were a mobile user. And you get to decide beforehand what the style is going to look like, and you get to create what's in here, what's going to show up. So I'm just kind of walking you through so you can see once you've created your course, how you'll be able to view it and test it, what it would look like as you're on an iPhone or an Android phone, what your videos and things would look like.
But it could work in any of those formats, right? I mean, whatever I create.
Yep, exactly.
It's just allowing me to view it, you kind of preview it.
Yep. Another thing that's nice about this viewer is you can click this button here, put your email address in, and then you can email yourself a link to the course. And then on your phone, you can pull up your email, click that link, and then you can actually see the course using your phone, see what it looks like there. So that way it's really nice to be able to get a glimpse of how each device is a little bit different for the user and their experience there. Okay, one more thing that I wanted to show you with this is you have the ability for your users to review the course. So when you bought your license, you bought it probably just for one developer and one administrator. But you don't have to pay for people that are going to review your course. You can just send them a link to it, and then they can go through your course and look at each page and then create an issue. So say they didn't like this graphic, they give it a title, graphic is bad, and then they can put in a description of why they think it's bad and which graphic they think you should use. And then they can assign it to any of the developers or managers that you have for this course. They can give it a priority, then categorize it. Then once they click add issue, then that goes to, you can set it up so it'll email you saying a reviewer's completed this course, or they went through a page and they didn't like this. So that's another nice thing about the authoring tool, is that it gives you that capability. Some of the other page templates that you can use, here's one that's called Concentric Circles. This one's not available for mobile, but this just gives you an idea of the variety of things that you can do for the desktop user. You can.
So how would I know that it's that particular thing is not available for mobile?
I'm going to show you that when we create a course, so you can see how each of them are. So that's a good question. I'm just going to flip through a couple of these so that you can at least get a feel of the page templates. This one's created with Rapid SwiftMaker that you'll get access to as well. Here are the ones that are mobile compatible. Some of the quizzes are. You can give them an introduction on how to take the quiz. This quiz type isn't mobile compatible, but it's the drag and drop type. Next one is true and false. This one is mobile compatible. You can create hyperlinks within your course, as I mentioned before. So this one is taking them to a website that's helping them to see what their communication style is, if they had forgotten. That relates to this question. So it's a nice way to give additional resources. You can add pictures and things to your question, and you can see your response right away. You can decide what the response is. This one is a multiple correct and an essay. and then an image multiple correct. So based on this information, which is the correct location, they can magnify their images and they can check their answers. Then it'll give them a results screen if you want. You don't have to have one. You can also allow them to print the results or have the results emailed to somebody. And then they can review their test and see what questions they got wrong, what they answered, what the correct answers were. And then you can include a button that says retake the quiz, and then they can go back through it. So
okay, and there are settings, I'm sure, for the how many times they can retake and or not, and et cetera.
There actually isn't with this tool. We had somebody ask about that recently as well. You can set it up so that you can limit whether or not they pass or fail the quiz, but there isn't a way to restrict whether or not they can retake the course or retake the quiz.
Is there one? Do you know if there's one in Litmus?
I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look into that for you to see if there's a way to, once they close out the lesson, if they can actually launch it again, or if they are limited to how many times they can click it.
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, there should be a setting on how many retakes you allow. It could be there could be 0, none, or it could be 3 times. But
I know there is the ability to send the score. So if you send the score, if you tell them, or in the course itself and part of the instructions, you can let them know once they've taken the quiz, their score is sent, and they can only take it one time. That means that if they do go back and retake the quiz and get a higher score or lower score, that score is not sent. It's only the first score that's sent. So that way the learning management system keeps track of what their original score is.
Right.
So I know that it has that ability to limit it, but it doesn't have the ability to say, okay, now you can't go back in the table of contents or whatever and go back to the quiz and retake it. So, okay. So that gives you kind of a feel of what the course looks like and what we're going to be creating. So now I want to just take you through how to create the course. So one of the first things that you'll want to do is be aware of the support that's available to you if you have questions, the help, etc. Up here on the green bar, you can look at the new features. You can look at your account specifics, or how many users you've signed up for. And then the support, you've got a few different options. One, you can go into the document, and this is your wiki. It allows you to put in whatever your search term is, and then once you hit search, then it'll link you to a specific page that gives you information on the topic that you searched for. There's also forums where you can communicate with other developers. You can email a ticket to Rapid Intake, or you can do a live chat. So we've got people that are here from 6:30 a.m., 6:30 p.m., and that's their whole job, is to answer chats, to get real-time information about any questions. If you want to pay extra, you can get telephone support as well, or extended hours. So, any questions on the support?
No, I do have just a quick question. I just noticed that you are on Mac.
I am, yep. So
and is the look on Windows the same?
It is, yep.
It is identical. Okay, cool. Yep. All right, no, just curious.
Okay. Next place that you're going to want to go after you've logged in is to the admin. And this is where you're going to be able to work with your users. So here are the users I've added to a course. Let me go ahead and add a user. You'll just put your first name, last name for the user, and then an email address, then a username and a password, and confirm the password. The different users that you have to work with are reviewers. So these are the ones that will be able to log in. Once they log in, the only thing they can do is launch the course. and then they can add issues to the course. But that's it. They can't make changes to the course. If you want them to be able to make changes to a course, then you're going to make them a developer. And they're the ones that can be able to create the course. But they can't create new courses. They have to be assigned a course, and then they can go through and create the courses. If you want somebody to be able to create courses, then you set them up as a manager so they can add projects. And the administrator is just one level up where they're able to add the users plus do everything else the manager, developer, and reviewers can. So most likely you are set up as an administrator so that you have access to all of the functionality.
Okay, just for clarification, so I am an administrator, and I think I only got one license. So, but I can I assign managers, developers, and reviewers, or just reviewers?
Just reviewers, unless you buy other licenses. So each license gives you the ability to develop or manage.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So I'm just going to go back. Those are my users. Next are projects. These are all the projects that I've created. It gives you a few different abilities when you're in the project. You create a project and you get to assign a leader to the project. You can, if you change your assignment or who's the lead, you can email them. And then you assign the team members. You first have to create the users. If they're a user, then you can click on the user and then add them to the assigned list. And you hit finished, and then you save the changes. It also gives you the ability to go in and you can create a schedule of development for it. So you can set a due date. You can assign, okay, I'm going to have my developer start working on this date. Then I'm going to give them a due date. Before the developer's done, I'm going to assign my reviewers to start going through the course. And so I'm going to set them up on this date and have an email sent to them telling them, okay, the course is going to be ready in 1 week, and this is the date that you're going to start reviewing. So it gives you a lot of ability to manage your course. Also, you can assign your course to a group. So if you remember, I had quite a few courses here, and it kind of gets messy after a while. So you'll want to assign them to a group. I've got HR courses here. I've got sales courses here, or a default group. That way you can keep things organized. And you're able to create the groups on this section of the admin tab. So you can add new groups or change groups.
But for me, it doesn't matter, right? Because I can only assign reviewers.
It's still nice to be able to assign groups of projects. So if you've got your sales, those that are in-state sales courses, and you've got out-of-state sales courses, then it might be nice to organize those into groups if you're developing 50 courses. That way you can keep track of which versions that you have and which courses each of the different students are going to be using. Does that make sense? So it's not necessarily a group of users. We're talking about groups of projects or courses.
Okay.
So I've got a Hondros project, and that looks like this. This is my course for Hondros. And that's its lesson. And I've also got a project for Rapid Intake, which is a default course. So this course looks like this. So they're completely different courses. And I've got them assigned to different groups. I only want HR courses in this area, so I can keep track of those, my sales over there. Is that making sense? Okay. All right.
So just really, kind of having, basically grouping the courses. So if I have for math, then, maybe I'll put, I don't know, algebra, calculus, whatever inside there, right?
Exactly. Yep,
okay.
You got it. Yep. If
now,
you remember, go ahead.
So I'm just trying to correlate this with Litmus, but it doesn't. I can take lessons or class or courses inside any group and put it and group it differently in Litmus, right?
You're right. Yep, exactly.
Okay.
This is just for the developer to keep things organized.
Got you. Okay.
Okay. So you remembered when I talked about being able to add issues. It might be nice to categorize your issues. So maybe you have grammar issues or programming issues or content, and you've got different people that are assigned to look at those types of issues. You're able to create the categories for those issues in the admin tab. So that's under the settings group right here. So that's what those categories are, and the priorities. You can set them as high, low, medium, or 10, 9, 8, or whatever you want to set it at. So this last section, I won't go into a lot of detail, but if you are a programmer or have access to a programmer, you have the ability to customize a lot of your course look and feel and some of the activities. If you're going to develop mobile activities outside of the authoring tool, say you're using Adobe Edge or some other mobile authoring program or language like Sencha, then you have the ability to download your course and edit the forms and each of the activities or create templates using these links here. One that you will want to do is update your company logo. So that's what shows up here if you want to make it look like your developing tool is yours. That link is right there. So are you interested at all in the custom course development? You want me to spend any more time going into that?
Well, I'm not sure, maybe. But let me ask you this.
Sure.
I have a lot of my courses that I have now has been created using Camtasia.
Okay.
Is that something I can just easily transfer over and use that? So these are PowerPoint slides that I have, recreated in Camtasia and did voiceovers and stuff like that. And so it has, the table of contents and everything. Is there a way for me to just take that and plug it into Litmus or put into Rapid Intake, or I don't know. I
guess
import it into Rapid
Intake. If you've created in Camtasia, there's really no reason to put it into Rapid Intake. Rapid Intake couldn't handle your table of contents that was created there or the interactivity. What it can do is if you save it out as a video, so you have a certain segment and you don't want a whole course, you can save your Camtasia file as a video and add it here in Rapid Intake. But if it's a course created with Camtasia, then you'll just upload that in Litmus and just have it reside there as its own course.
But I think, as I remember in my earlier discussions with Litmus, I think it was Chris that said that it can't be launched in a mobile device.
Right, it has to be created as a mobile course. So I'm not completely familiar with Camtasia. I just use it for video editing. But if Camtasia can't output a mobile compatible course, then we won't be able to go that route. You'll have to take as much as you can from Camtasia in video segments or animations or pictures or whatever as media, and then create a course here using that media from Camtasia. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. So let me just. I'm trying to understand now. Now PowerPoint, obviously, I should be able to import PowerPoint into this, right? Like if I have a PowerPoint presentation and use that as as content. So now, can I take the audio portion of a Camtasia recording and use Rapid Intake to kind of take a PowerPoint slide and the audio from I don't know. I suppose I can make it an MP3 and then kind of sync them in Rapid Intake?
It depends on what level you mean for syncing. So if we're talking about you're reading a list of bulleted items and each bulleted item pops up as you say, A, apples are green and orange, B, oranges are yellow, and you want to sync it that way to that level, you won't be able to do that here. You'll want to leave that in PowerPoint to to do the syncing. But if you're just talking about, I'm going to show a slide, PowerPoint slide, and I want this audio to play while the slide is showing, then yes. And then you can go on to the next page, and the next slide shows, and the next audio plays. So it's not.
So that could be done.
Yep. Yeah, and that's actually where I want to take you next, and how to create the project so that you can see what level. So when you create a project, you can either do it from the top level here, or through the admin level. You can add a new project. When you create a project, you can make it so that it's review only. So let's say you've created these courses with Camtasia and you want people to review it. Our tool will allow you to upload your Camtasia course and set it as a review only course. So you can't go in and edit it or anything, but other people could also log in as reviewers and add issues for that course, and you'll be able to collect those. So that's one thing that's nice. That's the review only. Most likely you'll be developing author and review. So you're going to give your project a name, and then you're going to sign yourself as the project lead. And then you can either start with an empty course, or if you've created a course that has all the elements that you want, so maybe you've got a welcome, it's a presentation, and you've got a quiz and conclusion, and you're going to stick with this format for all of your courses, then I'll show you how you can create a template. And so instead of starting with an empty course, you can go to that template and use that to create your course. That way you don't have to repeat or recreate things that you've already used before. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you going to be doing this for computer as well as mobile, or strictly mobile?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to check right here that it's going to be Flash and mobile course. Then again, the optional I've showed you before, that's where you're able to set up a timeline if you're working with a team. Then you just go to next step, and this is where you get to choose your style of how it's going to look. Typically, if you're going to this is for the computer, the Flash version. You want to decide what size your course is going to be. Most of the samples that I've shown you so far are the 1024 by 768. That's a standard size that works with even 13-inch monitors or screens like laptops. But if you need to go smaller, there's some smaller versions as well. So you'll check what size you want, and then it'll give you all the different styles that you can choose from to work
So
with.
this is where I guess I suppose I can create some custom styles, right? We have a template, kind of a background, and a color scheme that our company wants to use.
Okay.
So in PowerPoint, can I easily just take kind of that template and translate it into one of these styles?
Yes and no. Yes, there is some customization that you can do with each of these different types. For instance, this one that's called business, I can go in and actually change the different colors and such. So if I wanted to change the header, you can see up here that I've changed the header color, the glossary, those types of things. So I can customize it to that level. This style, if I went with this one, it allows me to put the logo, my company logo up there. But as you can see here, I can't change colors or buttons or anything like that. And so that's the level of customizing that you can do here. So if you wanted something that was unique to you and your company, then you'll need to either create something that's done in Flash, have a Flash developer that does it for you, or you can have us do it. I think we charge $1,600 to create a custom look and feel for your company. Or if you've got a Flash programmer, then that's where you use that custom area in the admin tab. They would create it in Flash using the size that you want, and then they would upload that, and then that would just be one of the templates that you would choose from. It would be a custom template. So that's one of the things that's nice about rapid intake is that depending on what level of capability that you have, we will allow you to customize and change a lot of things and add a lot of things. But we've got it set up so if you're not a programmer or don't have access to a program, there are still some basic level of customization that you can play with.
Okay.
All right, so I choose my style. This is just for Flash, and then I'm going to go to the mobile style. So as you can see here, there's a fewer, there's a smaller selection to choose from. And if you are going to be customizing it yourself, know that you have to have a Flash programmer that's going to customize something that's unique for the desktop or the computer user. But then you also have to have a Sencha programmer that's going to develop the look and feel for the mobile side. So here are the different styles that you can choose from for mobile. Once you've chosen it, then you just go to the next step. Then it takes you to, you can assign the people from this level, and you can just create the project. What it does is it compiles all the styles and different information that you've added, and then creates the course for you. Once you're done, then you have these buttons to choose from. I'm going to actually go here so that you can see how that works. So these are the, when you log in, this is the first screen that you're going to see, and those buttons that we just looked at, if I click on the specific course, are the same thing that are here. So I want to go ahead and build my course. And I'm starting from scratch. There's not going to be anything listed. I'm going to use one that I already have added to so that you can see how it looks. So over here is basically your storyboard for the project. You can create topics or chapters, and then you put a page inside that topic or chapter. So I told you before that I let you know about the mobile compatible. If this is going to be a Flash and mobile course, you'll want to click on this page category called mobile compatible, and this gives you all the different page types that you can choose from. These are templates that you can use in order to create your course. So I'm just going to create a simple one, an image and audio type of page, and I click add selected page. And then you've got a form that you're basically going to fill out where you're going to put a title. You're going to choose an image. So I'm going to click on this folder to find an image that I want to add to this page. So when you start your course, you're not going to have you won't have any images listed here. So what you'll need to do is click upload a new image, and then you're just going to browse out to your computer or a hard drive and upload your images wherever they're located. So it's just as simple as finding where your pictures are at, and then you can upload more than one picture just by holding down Shift, and then click Open, then you can upload all of those images. Over here on the side, you can choose what quality you want. So 100 means that it's going to keep the same quality that you chose. Or if you're working with people that have dial-up or slow internet connections, it's nice to reduce the quality of your images so that your pages are going to load up a lot quicker. Also, you can choose to have images that are PNG. That's the type of image that has transparency. And that's nice, but you want to make sure you uncheck this so that it keeps them as PNG. By default, rapid intake authoring tools can convert them to JPEG so that they'll load a lot faster. PNGs are a lot larger file and take up more room. Then you just click upload, and it just takes a minute for the images to load. We also include in your package stock media. So you have about 152 pages worth of images that you can search through here if you want to choose an avatar person that's going to walk you through the course. Also, there's going to be speech bubbles and then just a variety of other things that you can come to use. Any questions there?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So once you chose your image, you can choose what quality of image it is, and then select insert it. You can choose where it's going to show up on the page, on the left side or right side, and then choose how large the image is going to be represented on the page. So if I looked at this right now, I've got it set at 40. Because this is such a large image, you can see that it's going to take up too much room. So I'm just going to play with the size a little bit, see what size is going to look best. So right
okay, so there's not a kind of a drag drop or kind of drag the corner and expand? You have to do it manually like this?
Let me show you. We do have a page template that's like that. It just depends on which page template you chose. Because I chose this one that's called Image and Audio, it limits you to what you can do. Let me finish this one, and then I'll show you that page template where you can do that. So audio, you can include the audio just the same way. You'll just go and upload an audio file, and then once you've uploaded it, you'll select it and then insert it that way. So you'll want to make sure that when you're uploading MP3 files, that's compatible here. So WMV files aren't going to work. So if you've recorded it with PowerPoint, sometimes if you export it, you can choose whether or not it's an MP3 or WMV file.
So MP3 is the only audio supported?
It is, yep.
Okay.
So then the Advanced tab, this is where you're able to add your narration script that you have. You can change the formatting a little bit with the controls down here. Also, there's some information here where you can put a link ID. That means you identify your page so that if you don't want to just hit next and go to the next page in a linear fashion, instead maybe you have a choose your own adventure. You could put a whole bunch of links on your page and say, okay, if you're a type A personality, click on this link, and it'll jump them to a specific page that you have linked up based on this link ID. That way you can branch out your navigation and you don't have to stick with a linear branching method. Any questions on this page template style?
No.
Okay. So you can see over here how it shows up, and this is kind of what your table of contents is going to look like when you preview the course as well. So let's look at that page style. So it doesn't look like that it's mobile compatible. So I'm going to show you what you can do if it's not mobile compatible. So it's called the visual layout page. Select that, add the selected page. And then, so for the desktop or the computer version, this is what you get to work with. So if I wanted to add an image, I'm going to go out and select my image. Chose this one, I insert it. And then like you talked about, I can change the size and shrink it, make it larger, and then I can drag it where I want it on the screen. Then over here it lists what objects you have on there so you can reorder them how you want. You can add video and audio clips and text clips as well. And it kind of gives you a feel of what you can work with. So again, this is going to be your desktop version. So if you wanted it to show up on mobile, you're limited on what the ability you can for organizing it. But we do have down here on this third step called alternative mobile content, where you can use this WYSIWYG editor to create the same type of page that you did for the desktop. So you're going to be able to add your text here. If you wanted to add a video, you click the video button, go out to where the video is at, insert it, and then you can play around a little bit with the size. If you know any HTML, you can actually go into the HTML code and make your changes and edits there. You can create links and different things. But because this is not a mobile compatible page template, you'll have to recreate it using the WYSIWYG editor here.
Using, say again, using what?
It's called an HTML editor, or WYSIWYG.
Okay.
What you see is what you get. And then again, if you have a Sencha programmer or somebody that's going to develop your mobile animation and interactive content, they can upload that content here, but it has to be set for a specific mobile device size. So it has to be set for instance, a 10-inch tablet or a 7-inch tablet, and you have to set that size here. So that's different from the mobile compatible pages where we adjust the page size depending on what your device is. So if you've got a lot of video, different things, you don't have to worry about what type of device or what size it's going to be viewed at. I've covered quite a bit of information for you. We could go into another page template type if you want, so you can see how the quizzes
yeah, well,
created.
so a lot of what I'm going to probably end up having to create, because we already have a lot of content in PowerPoint. So show me how I take a PowerPoint slide and put it in Rapid Intake, and how I might do a voiceover over the PowerPoint.
Okay, I'll do that. So you're going to select PowerPoint here.
PowerPoint, okay.
Add the selected page, and then you can do it one page at a time if you've got the PowerPoint already converted, or you can go out and bring in the entire PowerPoint. So you do just like we did with the images and video. You do upload, and then you go out to where the PowerPoint ends. One thing that you might want to check on here is some of the limitations that PowerPoint has with the controls, etc. You can click here, and it'll take you out to the instructions on what PowerPoint does well and doesn't do well on the conversion. So once it uploads, then you can choose to add all the slides all at once, or you can choose to go into the PowerPoint, and it will show you each of the different pages of your PowerPoint and just add one page at a time. So if I just chose this page.
Well, can you do add all the pages?
Yep, if you're going to do add all the pages, let's go ahead and go over here. I'm going to choose this whole PowerPoint. It'll take just a second, depending on how large your PowerPoint is. But then you'll see on that PowerPoint, or over here on my table of content, all these pages pop up for each page of my PowerPoint. So there it goes.
I see. So it automatically kind of gives you puts a table of content in there.
It does. Yep. Yep. Each
How
page
does it pick the title? You got to retitle it.
Yep. You'll have to retitle it because it only comes in as the name of the PowerPoint and then slide 1, slide 2.
Okay.
So, and I just want to make sure I'm telling you the right things. Yeah, because which PowerPoint slide? So, on the PowerPoints, let me tell you what the limitations are on them so I don't mislead you. First off, as you could see, the PowerPoint upload all the pages all at once isn't going to give you mobile compatible pages. And so you would actually have to go in and add whatever content was on that page. So that's, I don't think, what you're looking for, because you don't want to have to recreate it for mobile.
That's correct.
You're not.
So you're telling me that I'm going to have to put it in one page at a time?
You will. Let me tell you the best way to do that. Let me finish telling you what the PowerPoint limitations are, and then I'll walk you through my suggestion on it. The other thing with the PowerPoint, if you do it all at once, all the pages all at once, and then add, it will not allow you to add the audio as a separate piece. So the audio would have already had to reside in your PowerPoint. So say you recorded it and already had it embedded in your PowerPoint. When you upload it, play it, the audio will be already in that page, but you can't upload or add the audio as a separate file when you do this page type. You would have to include it as a different type of page. You'd still be able to go to your PowerPoint and upload it all at once. But then when you create the page type itself, you would have to create it as this audio Swift page type, because your PowerPoint is converted to a Swift. So you would add your audio here, then you'd go out to the PowerPoint page slide. So here's my PowerPoint presentation. I would go to the actual slide that I was interested in, choose it, enter that slide, and then I've got my audio that I wanted with that slide, and then I can view that slide. So those are the limitations with PowerPoint. So if you're going to be converting, if you want your PowerPoints to work with the mobile, the best way that I've done it is I go into my PowerPoint and I export it as images and as audio. And then I come in and create my page type, and I do an image and audio page, and you can see it's mobile compatible. And then I take when I go out to the images of my PowerPoint, I just upload all the images for my PowerPoint, and I choose each one individually. So I'd go to the image that I've already uploaded, select it. So that would be my PowerPoint image. And then
so if you have animation in your PowerPoint, is it going to transfer it over here, or?
It will for Flash, for your desktop version, your computer version. It will keep that. But if you're going to do mobile, it won't be able to convert it for you. It only converts the PowerPoint into Flash, a Flash file. So the only way to capture your PowerPoint animation for a mobile is to convert it into a video, save it as a video type file, and then you would upload it as a video and create a video page that is mobile compatible.
So the other thing too then is if I had a PowerPoint slide and I just want to do, can I do a voiceover here?
In the PowerPoint, not with the authoring tool, no.
Not with the authoring tool.
No, you'd have to use one of the free online programs that lets you do audio recording, or PowerPoint also lets you do it. So,
so the other thing I could do, so this is if I had a PowerPoint, I can take cuts if I get a recording already, an MP3, cut that and add that as an audio into the slide.
Right. Yep. And so if you have animation and such, that's the best way to do it. If it's just a still or a graphic, PowerPoint slide, I would just go ahead and keep them as separate files and do it like I suggested here, which is upload your images and your audio as separate files. That way you've got some leeway when you make changes and edits and such, and you don't have to go back to PowerPoint in order to make your changes.
Okay. Okay, now when I played it, I mean, this thing is going to be continuous, right? I mean, the user would not have to go page to page. It would automatically just flow through the entire presentation unless as a user, I stop it, right?
Right. If you want to do it continuous, what you want to do is you'll click Edit Course, and this is one of your course settings that you can choose. So here you can choose to have a narration button, glossary button, etc. And then down here, it says, let's see. Oh, there we go. It's in this last step, step 6, where you can check off auto navigation, and that means that the user doesn't have to click next to go from page to page. It would do it automatically as soon as whatever content is done in that page, it moves on to the next page.
So does it move forward depending on if I added an audio clip inside the slide? Will it go
Correct.
as long as the audio is playing? Is
Yep.
that how it goes? Okay.
Yep, as soon as whatever you have in there, so if it's just a graphic or an image, it's not going to spend much time on that page. It'll move right on to the next page. If you have audio or video, it'll play till the end of that, and then it moves on to the next page.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. The other nice thing that Rapid Intake does, and why a lot of people choose it, is that it's SCORM compliant or AICC compliant. That really just means that you're going to be able to, once you've completed your course, you'll be able to deploy it. That means put it onto your computer, and it'll be in a zip file or in a package that you can put on any server or learning management system that's out there that's also SCORM compliant. So that way you don't have to worry about making a course specific to an LMS. It's already done for you. Also the tracking, you can set that up here. There's a few different ways of tracking the user. If you want them just to get through the course, they just have to touch each page, and you can set it up that way. Or if you want them to watch every single page all the way to the end, you can set it up that way. Or you can set it based on a quiz or completion that way if they have a score criteria that you don't want a passing score to be sent to the learning management system until they've gotten 80% or whatever. You can set it up that way. So there's a lot of options to choose from. Another thing I wanted to show you is the glossary. That's just this tab here. You click on Add a Term, and then you decide what the term is here, and then you put your definition in here.
So I have a Word file that has a glossary. So it has the term and the definition. Can I upload it into this?
You can't upload it or import it, but you can copy and paste from it into this.
But one at a time. One term at a time?
Yep.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. If you know XML, you can...
Are you guys working on that?
I don't know if that's one of the features they're looking at, so I'll ask them about it.
Yeah, it would seem like it's a Word file, so seems like I should just be able to import it into this and take it. I mean, even if I have to transfer it into a certain template.
Yeah, if you know XML, then you'd be able to upload it that way, or you can convert it to an XML type file. But that's how this program works. It's all XML based. It's not text based. So that's why you can't convert it right over. And once you have a glossary and you're going to use that same glossary for all of your courses, you can do that. You don't have to create the glossary every single time. Upload that same glossary.
Yeah, no, I kind of saw that feature right away as soon as you mentioned glossary. So if there's a term inside the content that is in the glossary, does it automatically link it, or do you have to do something to link it to the glossary?
Yep. There's in one of our forum discussions, or in the wiki itself, in our documentation, there's instructions on how to do that, so it's kind of nice. But you will have to go into the text. So say I had I don't have a text down. There it is. So once I go to my page that has text, I go to where the text is located. So here's my term that I want. You would actually have to link it, and you put the link down here to that glossary term. So it's code that's called the AS function glossary, I think is what it's called. So it looks something like that, and then you would put the term. My term is Apple. So then that would become a link. So if the person clicked on that link, then it would open up the glossary to that term.
So you have to actually type in the word that it needs to find in the glossary.
Correct.
I was thinking that you just highlight the word, and if it's in the glossary, I don't know,
No,
right?
if it's not automated,
You'll
you would
find
have to
it.
do that. Yep, you'll have to do that yourself.
All right.
One more thing I wanted to show you is how to deploy the course. So that's one of your options. Once you're done with the course, you'll click the deploy button, and you can choose how you want it deployed, Flash, mobile, or both. And then you decide if you're going to put it on Litmus, you're going to choose an LMS. If you're just going to put it onto a generic web server, maybe your own web server just for testing purposes, or you don't need anything recorded, you can choose generic web server. Then we also have a function that's called mLearning Sync, and this is kind of nice if you purchase this because if you've got people that are going to be taking on a mobile device but they don't always have internet connection, with mLearning Sync server, they're able to download the course as an app, and then they can access it even when they don't have internet connection. They'll go through the course, and then when they do have internet connection, they just click send, and they can send their score or whatever to the learning management system, so it tracks what they did in their course offline. So for you, you'll probably...
That's an option?
It is. It's a different option. Unless you know that you purchased it, most likely you haven't. But it's one of the,
okay. So I would know if I bought it, huh?
It would, if you haven't, if it's not on your contract which you signed or created with Rapid Intake, then it doesn't mean that you purchased it.
I don't remember. I don't remember the term.
Yeah. So if you just bought a license, it doesn't come with the license. It's an added feature that you've purchased.
All right.
So you're going to deploy this as an LMS if you're going to put it on Litmus, and then you choose most likely SCORM 1.2 unless you have an AICC requirement. Most of the time you don't have to...
Andre, on these Camtasia recordings that I did on a PowerPoint, now I do have SCORM versions of those.
Okay.
So is that can I just upload that SCORM version?
To Litmus, yes. Yep.
To Litmus, right? Okay. Yep. But would that not be Flash compatible? Would it be mobile compatible?
No. You have to create a course. Camtasia would have to do that for you. I don't think it's an option for Camtasia to do that. So no.
Okay.
Once you've chosen, and also you want to make sure that Camtasia lets you save it as the SCORM 1.2 version. That's what Litmus is set up as in order to be compatible with Litmus. Then you're just going to choose download, and it's going to download a zip file to your computer. And then you have control over that project. If you want to unzip it, you can actually go into the course and make changes in it. If you've got a programmer that's going to develop a new look and feel for you with mobile or Flash, then that's what you're going to give them. You're going to create a course, just a shell of the course, and send that to them. That way they have something to work from, and they don't have to create it from scratch. They can just use one of our templates and manipulate it. So it makes it nice. Another thing that you can do is create a public link. So if you don't want to upload it to a learning management system, you can create a public link. Just click publish, and it creates a hyperlink or a URL link that you can email to other people. Once they click that, they can actually see the course, and they'll be viewing it from our server here. And you don't have to upload it. So here's the hyperlink that I could email to people. So I've gone through a lot of information. Do you have more questions that you'd like me to try answering for you?
I'm sure I have a lot of questions, but
a lot of questions. Okay.
I think I kind of have to go through this. Kind of go through the process myself and just try a few things and see specifically what kind of questions I have. But
Okay. One of the helpful things is once you create your course, you create a new course, there's a link right here in the course itself, just right at the top of your table of contents, getting started tutorial. So if you want a refresher, it'll take you page by page on how to create a course.
Okay.
How to, that's kind of nice.
There, huh? Okay.
Yep. Easy to access. And then take advantage of the chat. We also have out on the our websites, we have a training or a support training page. So we've got some videos you can go to and watch. That'll take you through any of the different things that you're interested in. So you might want to do a search for PowerPoint and learn some tips on how to convert PowerPoints over. I created one here that's called the course styles, which would be nice. So if you don't want somebody to program your course style, you can look at this video and it just walks you through each of the different styles and you can see what they look like. It just makes it a little easier than actually flipping through the styles themselves because you can see them in a course. So,
okay.
So, a lot of resources for you.
You hear that? People's ringtones crazy.
We also have additional training if you want to pay for training. So if you've started playing with it and you just realize, I'm not very efficient at this, and you want to purchase a few hours of training, then I can walk you through specific training on how to convert PowerPoint or how to take your existing projects and the best ways that we can put them in, and just walk you through a few of those. So that's available to you as well.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Ray, for being patient as we were trying to get online so we could record this for you, and I'll convert it and get a link sent out to you so you can watch it again. It's very
okay. Can you also please make sure I get the login credentials?